everybody, and welcome back to Room 9, our region's largest classroom. My name is Miss St. Louis, and I'm a teacher at Rogers Elementary School in the Mehlville School District, and we are located in South St. Louis County. Today, I'm here to teach a reading lesson that's geared towards students who are in the 3rd grade, but all learners are more than welcome to learn and explore along with us. So let's get started. This week, we are diving into one of my favorite topics when it comes to reading, and that's inferencing. And all week this week, we're going to practice making inferences, we're going to read some awesome books, and also practice making inferences while we're reading. It's going to be so much fun. Making inferences really uses your brain power and gets you to be a little bit creative in your thinking. So, before we can start making inferences, we have to talk about what an inference is. So, inferences. To make an inference means to think beyond the words in a text to determine an author's underlying meaning. So oftentimes authors don't come right out and tell us things, right? They don't always tell us exactly why characters do certain things or how characters are feeling. It's something we have to kind of think about on our own. We sort of have to make it up a little bit in our mind. And there's a specific way in which we make an inference. When we make an inference, we use the text clues, right? Which is all the information that we get from a book. Everything we get out of the author's words. Plus our schema to make an inference. Okay, that's kind of the formula we use. Now, let's talk about schema. You may have heard that word before. I think we've used it here a few times in Room 9 as well. But schema, for those of you who don't know, is your prior knowledge. It's what you already know. Now, all of you have schema because schema is in your brain. It's everything that you already know, have learned, and have experienced. Every single day, you add to your schema, right? As you go through life, as you go to school, as you go to the grocery store, you're adding to your schema. It's all the experiences that you've had in your lifetime. So if you were reading a book about a character going to the grocery store and you've been to the grocery store, you can relate to that. That's partially using your schema, right? You know that the character who goes to the grocery store is going to walk in, they're going to get their groceries, they're going to go to the cashier, they're going to check out and pay, right? Because it's the same thing you do when you go to the grocery store. Does that mean that the characters are going to get the exact same things as you? Probably not. But you know some of the general ideas about what's going to happen, right? We know about things that make us happy because we've experienced happiness before. We know about what it's like to be sad because we've experienced sadness before. So we're able to take this information that we already have in our brain from all of our experiences and apply it, right? And so our schema mixed with the text clues, right? All of the information we're getting from the author in the book, right? About what the character is doing, about what's going on. Putting those both together can help us to make an inference, okay? Now, when we make an inference, we might start our thinking off with some thinking stems. Now, thinking stems come in really handy to get our brain starting to make an inference. So some very popular thinking stems, this isn't all of them, just a couple, are I predict, my guess is, I infer, it could be that, or this could mean, right? So those are oftentimes some of the thinking stems we use when we are making our own inferences. And so today, we're going to practice making our own inferences, okay, as we read a book. How does that sound to you? Awesome. Uh-oh. I think someone's at my door. Let me go check really fast. I'm sorry for the interruption. Well, this is strange. It's an envelope, but it doesn't have anything on it. Do you think we should open it? Maybe it'll tell me who it's from. Well, there's no note. There's some stuff in here. There's a wrench and some headphones and some light bulbs. Who do you think could have sent this? Headphones and light bulbs and a wrench. Who would use all of this stuff? Maybe someone who puts up holiday lights, right? They might need to use this wrench to help make them stick to houses, maybe. Okay, right? Or maybe to make them tighter. They probably have extra bulbs just in case some are burnt out, but they use headphones? Oh, you're right. Maybe they listen to music while they're putting the lights up. Probably gives them something to do. It kind of takes a while. You know what? I had somebody come and put some holiday lights up around my house last week. This probably belongs to them. Why do you think they would have sent it to me? Oh, okay, maybe they sent me the extra bulbs in case some burned out. Sure. Why would they send me a wrench? Oh, maybe in case some of them fall down, I could put them back up. That's pretty smart. And why send me the headphones? You know what? You're right. Their business information is here on the back. Wow, you guys are smart. Thanks for helping me figure out who left this mysterious package. You know, when you did that, you even kind of used some of your own inferencing skills. I know we weren't reading from a book, but you took what you knew about these materials and helped me to put some clues together to figure out who probably dropped this package off. I'm really glad that you were here when this happened because they didn't leave a name. So now I know who to send a thank you note to. So thank you so much for helping me with that. Wow. Inferencing comes in really handy, doesn't it? Absolutely. Do you think we're ready to maybe put this to work and try it with a book? I think we are too. You've already proved yourself. Let's put it to the test. So the story that we are going to read today is called Lion versus Rabbit by Latimer. And our little sneak peek on the back says, when the other animals can't take Lion's bullying anymore, they post an ad asking for help. One animal after another tries and fails to defeat Lion. Can no one stop him? So I already know here, right, from the back, that there might be part of my schema that I can pull from, right? So remember, our schema is our prior knowledge, what I already know. And I know that in school we talk a lot about bullying and how to best handle a bully. So you might be able to pull some of that information that you've already learned about bullying and maybe use it to help us as we read this text. So I'm already thinking in my head, what are some of the lessons that my teacher has taught me? What are some of the lessons that my counselor has taught me? And what did those teach me about bullying? Are you ready to dive into our book? Let's go. All right. Oh, here we can see at the top, we see Lion and Rabbit. It's almost like a baseball card, right? It tells us some facts about him. So we can see Lion's speed. He can get up to 60 miles per hour in 4.1 seconds. Whoa. We can see his weight, which is 1,770 pounds. He's 6 feet tall, on the meanness scale, he's a 9.9 out of 10. But on the brain scale, he's a 2 out of 10. Our rabbit over here can get from 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. His top speed is 30 miles per hour. He weighs 4 pounds and is 1 foot tall. On the meanness scale, he's a 1 out of 10. But in the brains, he's a 9 out of 10. Let's see how this can help us with this book. Lion was mean to everyone. One afternoon, he gave Buffalo a wedgie. He stuck a silly note on Zebra's back, and he stole Hyena's lunch money. Soon, all of the animals were tired of his bullying. Lion must stop now, please. How do you think they're feeling? Angry? Frustrated? Oh, maybe a little sad, right? They're probably not feeling the best if they have been someone who's been bullied, right? If they've been a victim of bullying, then that kind of means that they've been put down and they're probably not feeling their best right now. But no one was brave enough to make Lion stop. What? I can't hear you from up here. I have a sudden tusk ache. I have a note from my mom. I need to go and shampoo my hood. I'm allergic to cats. So, why do you think these animals are so afraid? Okay, maybe because Lion is mean, right? We saw at the beginning here that he's a 9.9 out of 10 on the meanness scale. So, based on that, probably don't want to confront him, right? And when we confront somebody, we kind of stand up for ourselves. And if somebody's really mean, that can be really hard to do. Can it be hard to stand up to a bully? Absolutely, right? This is something that maybe you've experienced yourself, right? Maybe you've either been a victim of bullying yourself, or you've had to stand up for somebody. And that's a really hard thing to do. And it takes a lot of courage and a lot of bravery to stand up to somebody. And when that somebody's really, really mean, it's going to take a lot of bravery and a lot of courage. They needed help. So they asked Baboon to write an advertisement. Help needed. We need someone to make Lion stop bullying us. Reward of $100. Mostly gazelle. Earn money from the comfort of your own burrow. All right, let's see what happens. A bear saw the ad and arrived on the next flight. The bear was strong, but he was no match for Lion. Then a moose arrived. I'll make Lion stop. But Lion was too quick for the moose. Next came a tiger. Lion won again. The bear, the moose, and the tiger all caught the next plane home. It seemed that no one could stop Lion from being so mean. That's got to be hard for all the animals, huh? But just as Lion was about to go back to his bullying, one last animal arrived. You're small, said the Lion. I'll let you choose the contest. All right, said Rabbit. Let's have a marshmallow eating competition. Said Lion. That'll be easy. Lion ate 3 buckets of marshmallows before he started to feel sick. March, 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 march. But Rabbit ate 10 buckets. Ugh, no fair, said Lion. I wasn't feeling well. Very well then, replied Rabbit. Let's have a quiz. Lion tried his best. Scratch, scratch, scratch. But Rabbit won the quiz easily. China, 200. Charles Darwin, a hat. 6 rose bushes. Next week. No fair, said Lion. I wasn't ready. Oh, okay, let's have a hopping competition, replied Rabbit. Think about Lion right now. How's he starting to feel here? Yeah, probably a little defeated, right? Has he ever lost before? No, he hasn't lost before, right? So far, he's beaten all these animals and he's used to being kind of in charge of everybody, right? No one's ever really beat him before. So he's acting a little bit like a sore loser, right? And so when we say that, we mean that it's okay to lose things, right? Absolutely. Happens all the time. But if we don't take it well, then sometimes we don't really act the best. And we might make excuses for why we lost and try to blame it on other people or blame it on other things. And we don't really take responsibility for it. And it's not a bad thing to lose, but is Lion being a really good loser right now? Not really. Lion started out really well, but he only lasted 10 minutes. He looks tired, right? Think about yourself. When you finish doing something like jumping for 10 minutes, our face is really red, we're probably breathing really heavy, out of breath. Whew. But Rabbit hopped non-stop for 6 hours. No fair, whined Lion. I wasn't warmed up. He's making excuses. I see, replied Rabbit. Let's have a painting competition. Ooh, painting. Lion's picture was okay, but Rabbit's picture was much better. No fair, moaned Lion. I was distracted. All right then, we'll have one more competition, Rabbit replied. You can choose what it is. Lion thought hard. Let's race to the top of the mountain. I'm faster and stronger and a better climber. There's no way I can lose. Lion began running before the starter pistol went off. What does that mean he did? That's right, he cheated. He left before he was supposed to start. Bang! So who do you think is going to win? Can you make a prediction? Let's think about what we know from the text. Lion's mean, but he's really big. And we know that he's really, really fast and he's really, really strong. So running to the top of the mountain is pretty easy. And if we think about this little rabbit here, he's slower, he's definitely not as strong, and he's smaller, so it makes sense that it would take him longer to get to the top of the mountain. So based on what I know from the text, I would think that probably the lion would win, right? Not to mention he's got this head start because he left early. All right, keep that prediction in your head. Let's see. But after a few minutes, Lion saw Rabbit up ahead of him. Lion sprinted to catch up and overtook Rabbit. But when he clambered up some rocks, he saw Rabbit was ahead of him again. Lion overtook Rabbit once more and raced to the top of the mountain. But as he got close, he saw that Rabbit was already at the top. You're amazing, said Lion when he finally got there. You win. I'll stop bullying the animals. That night, all the animals gathered at the harbor to give Rabbit his prize and wish him a safe journey home. But to their surprise, there wasn't just one rabbit leaving on the boat. What? There were 10 rabbits full of marshmallows. Excuse me. 1 brainy rabbit. 6 hopping rabbits. 1 arty rabbit au revoir. And 4 cross-country rabbits. What? Where did all these rabbits come from? What do you think this means? You think Rabbit cheated? Huh. There's more than one of them. So he didn't do this alone, did he? They worked together to beat the lion. Think about it. There are these 10 rabbits full of marshmallows. Well, if we think back, how many buckets of marshmallows did the rabbit eat? 10! Each one of these guys must have eaten 1 bucket. It's probably easier to eat 1 bucket than 10, right? Our brainy rabbit, he answered all those trivia questions. Our hopping rabbits, they took turns, right? Hopping for different amounts of time. Ooh, let's think about it. How long did he hop for? We might have to go back and look at the text. 6 hours. That means that each rabbit hopped for an hour. Our arty rabbit, he made the picture. And our cross-country rabbits, they took turns running the race. Well, no wonder they won. They weren't as tired as Lion. Oh. Lion never did find out that the rabbits tricked him. Who would want to tell him? After all, the rabbits had just wanted to help. And from that day on, Lion was never mean to anyone again. May I help you carry your shopping? Why do you think that they wouldn't want to tell Lion that he had been tricked? Maybe because it would make him feel bad. Yeah, maybe. Maybe because they had already gotten what they wanted, right? And Lion might go back to bullying them if he found out it was a trick. Do the other animals seem like the type of person who might be mean to somebody? No, not really. So they're probably not going to tell him because they want to be kind, right? That's the kind of animals we know that they are, that they're kind. Do you think that Lion learned his lesson in this book? Yeah, I think he probably did too, right? Why do you think that Rabbit might have tricked the lion? What did Rabbit get out of this? He doesn't live here, so the lion wasn't bullying him. Yeah, maybe they just wanted to help. Absolutely, right? Maybe they saw this ad that the baboon had posted and they said, hey, I think we could help with that. Maybe it could have just been an act of kindness that they wanted to do for other people. Do you think that we could take the lesson from this book and apply it to our own lives in some way? Maybe a little, right? We're kind of seeing that it's important to stick up for others and to help out others when they are being bullied, right? Do you think we should really trick people? No, that's probably not the best way to handle the situation. But sticking up for ourselves and for others around us is a really good way to handle bullying. We might just have to change up our methods just a little bit. All right, boys and girls, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this Monday as we got started with our inferencing lesson this week. Remember, inferences are when we think beyond the words in a text to determine what the author's underlying meaning is. And so when we make an inference, we use text clues and our schema, which is our prior knowledge, all that stuff up here in our brain, to make our inference. And today we were able to make a few inferences in our book. Right? We were able to determine how characters might be feeling, right? Why they might be doing certain things. We were able to make some predictions about what we think might happen next, and even kind of figure out what the underlying lesson was in our story. So boys and girls, you did an awesome job today. I am so proud of how hard you worked, and I hope that you'll join us again next time as we continue to make inferences in our books. Bye everybody, have a great rest of your day.
Teaching in Room 9 is made possible with support of Bank of America, Dana Brown Charitable Trust, Emerson, and viewers like you.